Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Exciting. It's Monday. Did you see the new OnPassive.com, our website? It's absolutely beautiful. There's a big O right in the middle. If you haven't done so, please check out www.onpassive.com. We are the future of internet. Good afternoon, Michael. Good morning, actually afternoon now, or good evening to everyone who are joining into Michael William Ames and myself conversation. Hello, everyone. Today is Monday, July 17, 2023. My name is Julie Nguyen. I am coming to you from California, and my dearest friend Michael William Ames is from Canada. Let's have Michael saying hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you may be. It's a fantastic day.
Absolutely. Hello, Michael. We do hope that you start your week with a fantastic attitude, fantastic news, fantastic life. And if you, like I said, if you haven't done so, please check out our website, a new version of our website, www.onpassive.com. So today, the topic today is something that I believe we do ask ourselves every day. Every time when we are making decision or on buying something or decision to do something, we always ask, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Does the price that we pay for certain thing that we are buying, does that have the values on what we need or on what we are looking forward to do? Or do we just making decisions to buy out of depression, out of the wanting to do? We always ask, is it worth it? Is it buying this or making decision to do this? Is it fulfill the purpose of me acquiring it? So then at that time, we all make a decision of buying or making the decision to do the work that we do. You kind of understand the point that I'm trying to say here, Michael? We tend to ask ourselves that question, is it worth it?
Absolutely. That's a question we should ask ourselves. Even if we don't, it is something that we should in almost every decision that we make, right? You want your life to be worthwhile. You want your time to be worthwhile. So you should always be looking for value in everything that you do, even in a simple conversation. So yeah, absolutely, Julie, I'm with you.
Perfect. All right. So I have a story to tell everyone, and I'm very sure many of us already heard this story. It's about a little boy who came to his father and asked, Dad, what is the value of life? So then the father said, if you want to know what is the value of life, you have to do what I say. And the boy goes, okay, I agree with you. So then the father came back with a stone, with a message and with a requirement that he has to do. Why don't you take this stone to a market at the roadside, find a place to sit, put the stone in front of you. And if anyone come to you and ask, what does it cost to buy the stone? All you have to do is raise two fingers and then wait, and then bring it back. Don't sell it. So then the boy did just that. He took the stone to the market, he put it down, he waited and waited and waited. Nobody came. At the end of the day, there's a woman came on and said, what does it cost for the stone? The boy did this. And the woman said, okay, I'll pay for $20. The boy took it back home. He didn't sell the stone. Then he told his father, Father, there's a woman that offering the stone for $20. What do I do? The father said, take the stone to the museum tomorrow. And if anyone come and ask you, make sure you just give them two fingers and don't sell it and bring it back. The boy did just that. He went to the museum. And some people over there asked him again, how much does this cost? He said, he just did this. So the person said, I'm going to offer you $20,000 for that stone. The boy obviously didn't sell it, took it back, told his father, Daddy, there's a person offering this stone for $20,000. And the father said, okay, why don't we do this tomorrow? Tomorrow, you take the stone to a stone shop. It's the same thing. If anyone asks you, how much does this cost? All you got to do is raise your hand up, 2 fingers, and bring it back. So then he did just that. He went to the stone store, and the owner of that store, oh my gosh, this is a very rare stone. Where did you get such stone? And how much does it cost? The boy did just that. So the owner said, I'm going to offer you for this stone for $200,000. I'm going to create a beautiful, piece of art out of the stone. The boy took it back home. He was running back to his father. Daddy, someone is offering the stone for $200,000. Then his dad said, so you get your answer. Your life worth is in that place of the stone. The estimated value of your life is whatever the price you put on your life. The point here when I'm telling this story is that truly the values of everything that we have in our hand, it's really truly depend on what we put in it. Now, Michael and everyone who are currently listening to this, we have something in our hand called OnPassive. We all start OnPassive in the same playing field. How much values do we put in what we have in our hand? We have, we all started, some of us started a year ago, a month ago, 5 years ago. We have what? The collaborations, the friendship, the fun, the knowledge. We're meeting people around the world. We're learning so many things. We get to use some of the free product. We have the capabilities of bringing, helping other people to have this opportunity, to have OnPassive. And now, are we all in it? Michael, are you all in it? Are you in it?
Well, I'm certainly in it. There's no doubt about that. But you're absolutely right, Julie. We have something that is incredible, of a very, very high worth in OnPassive. And yes, some take it lightly, some take it real serious. It just depends on the individual. What it is that they see, what is it, how they perceive the business, how they perceive the value of the business, but all we can do is just encourage folks to understand that this is so valuable. It is not something that I would give away for $20,000, Julie, for $200,000, even for $1 million. I just wouldn't give it away because I know the value of it, Julie. When I think of all the people around the globe, billions of people around the world, that are in need, and when I see that OnPassive is a vehicle to help us help them, how can you put a value on the business? Because when you think of other things that are out there, when you think of other ways, other means that you can help billions of people, not helping one or two, we're talking helping billions of people. How can we put ourselves in that position to be able to do so? Whereas with OnPassive, it is so easy, Julie. All we had to do was get in, right? All we had to do was get in, and now we've positioned ourselves to be able to help so many people worldwide. And so that's why for me, OnPassive is invaluable. There's too much value that comes with this business. When we think of even from the customer point of view, Julie, knowing that they'll be able to get products that's going to help simplify the way they do business, products that's going to be more cost effective for them, help them to be, be able to go out there and conduct their business in a way that's going to help them. It's going to stimulate growth in their business. It's going to minimize their cost, Julie. It's going to save them time. And we can go on and on and on as far as the customer's benefit, Julie. So yes, it is truly invaluable. And I place a very, very, very high value on this business from day one. And as we progressed, the value just kept on increasing and increasing and increasing. And here we are today.
Absolutely, Michael. We always talk about the values that are offering. As you said, a lot of us who take this OnPassive as something that's so valuable to us that we've never seen before, and we run with it. We run in and we learn, but some of us didn't see that values. And now we're sitting here talking about of the time that we spend, the effort that our team, our CEO is spending in to do that. That is so much values packed in something for all of us to do. So the question is it worth it to, you can fill that sentence out, is it worth it to, do what you do? Is it worth it for us to spend? For me, Michael, if there is a bigger number than 100%, I would say 1,000,000,000,000% that is absolutely worth it. And I am all in. Are you all in, everyone? That's the questions. And that's something I truly would like everyone who currently watching this to write down. Are you all in? What is it? Is it worth it for you? And I believe we all resonate with that same message, Michael.
Absolutely. And I think we have to look at the benefits, Julie, right? When I value something, right, or evaluate something, whether it's worth it or not, I have to look at, okay, like, what is it costing me? My time, money, effort, what is it costing me? My energy, right? What is it costing me? And then what am I going to gain from it? Like, what is the benefits, right? And so we know that the benefits far outweigh the time that has been put in it from our standpoint. It far outweighs the cost that we've spent thus far. Everything, Julie. Like it's. I hate to use the word no-brainer. I don't really like that phrase, right? But when you think about it, though, it's such a simple and easy decision, right? It really is. And when people actually start to receive the benefits, Julie, I think that's when they'll actually wake up, But, if you're someone that cares about other people, you don't need to wait for that to happen, right? You should be able to see it before it actually happens, right? Because that's what a true visionary is someone who can see something before it actually happens, right? And that's what we have in OnPassive. We've been able to see, along the journey, right? Year after year after year, we see the progress, right? We see the improvements. We've seen the added benefits, and so that's why the value keeps going up and up and up, So yeah, this company OnPassive is unlike anything that I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of some pretty really cool things, Julie, some things that have actually changed some folks' lives. And yet here is something that is second to none. Like, it really is second to none. This is going to do more good globally than anything else that I've ever been a part of, and that's what's exciting to me, Julie, is to know in the future, knowing what this is going to do for so many people, because people need help. There's no doubt about that. That's one thing that we can agree on. I think everyone around the world can agree that there are so many, millions upon millions upon millions of people around the globe that actually need help. And where do you turn to for that help, Julie? OnPassive is a solution for so many worldwide.
Absolutely, Michael. A lot of time when we both talk about, on the phone together, we always ask, is it worth it to share this with someone? Is it worth it to take this and literally talk about it all the time? It really is so funny. The other day, I'm just thinking of the brand new website that's coming, the brand new version of the website that's coming. Literally, I woke up right in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and think about it and put a video out. And you actually can tell that, someone, because that's what we do. We see the values and we live with it. We breathe with it. We talk about and literally sleeping with it because it's in our mind, because we can see literally, Michael, I know you do this too. We connecting the dots. And every time when we do it, that we literally see the values of what we have bigger and bigger and bigger. Is it really worth it to spend the time, the mind, and the conversations that we have with our friends around the world to talk about something that we have in our hand?
Let me see if I can put it this way, Julie, right? We see, athletes, right? Professional athletes, whether it's football, soccer, basketball, track, whatever it is, right? And we're talking about the people at the pinnacle, right? The best of the best, right? We see them, right? They didn't, get there overnight. They weren't born that way. There's a lot of time, effort, right? A lot of ups and downs, a lot of struggle, right? For them to get to that point where they now become the best of the best. Right? I look at even my children, right? Something personal, right? I look at my children, I see them, with their sports and so on. And it's like, there are days where you just don't feel like going to practice. There are days where, it's like, oh, do I have to go? Like, do I have to go do that workout? Do I have to go do that training? Right? So we all gonna have those moments, right? But you then look forward to say, okay, why am I doing this? Right? Why am I here? Right? Why is it important that I go through this? Right? Why is it important that I continue to wait patiently? Why? Right? And then you think about the benefits. And so you see, Julie, that there is value at the end of the tunnel, right? So therefore, it's worth it to go through whatever growing pains, right, that it may take to get to that journey, to get to the end of that journey where it's success is waiting for you. Right. And that's exactly it. You have so many kids, around the world that are engaged in sports, many who are trying to get a scholarship to a university, et cetera, knowing that there's only a small amount that will ever, achieve that. Yet they're putting the time and effort to get there, Julie. Why? Because it's worth it. Right? It is worth it. You have players, let's take it from the guys' side, right, that want to get to the NBA, let's say, right? Okay, it's a tiny amount of them that actually make it there. But because it's worth it, Julie, they will put the time and effort into it, waking up, 5 o'clock in the morning, doing what they have to do on a day-to-day basis to get there. And it's the same with our business. When we know what we have in store, when we know what this business can do for ourselves or family, friends, people we care about, right? The globe at large. When we know what it can do, Julie, it is worth it to be patient. It's worth it to continue to stay the course. It is worth it to be focused. It's worth it to share, Julie. Even when you share and people look at you like you're crazy, it's still worth it, Julie, because maybe that one person will say yes and have their lives changed. That's what this business is all about. It's all about us caring for others. It's all because we can just sit here, Julie, and say, you know what? I'm going to keep it all to myself. There's no need for me to share it with anyone. I'm going to be fine, right? But we don't. We still reach out. We have a contest going on now, Julie. We still reach out and get the contest out to others because you know what? Even if you don't do anything with the business, you still have an opportunity to walk away a winner. So why not share that with someone? Why not encourage someone to participate in the contest, right? So it's all about understanding the worth. Right? It's all about understanding, the benefits that are there and how do we go about receiving those benefits, Julie. And with OnPassive, it is so simple. Right now, we're simply waiting patiently. We're letting the team doing what they need to do, right? We're leaving all the numbers to the team, letting them figure it out, putting the best version, of this business forward so that we all can benefit. Simple, Julie, because it is all worth it.
Absolutely, Michael. I'm so glad that you brought up about the athlete, because it was a point that I want to also bring it up is that, it's kind of funny that we think that this way is this when you go to a sport arena, you go to watch your favorite game, your whatever it is, there are tickets that cost thousands of dollars, but the whole entire stadium is packed. People are excited, cheering for their team. Is it worth it for them to do that? Absolutely, because they have the fun, the joy, they be with their friends, their family. Now being at the stadium, whether or not you are the athlete or the person that come and cheer, you got to take a position, right? Am I the person on the stand cheering for my team, right? Cheering and do everything it takes for my team to win. Put yourself in position as an athlete, right? You do everything you can to be there to win, because it's absolute, the satisfaction, the feeling behind it is satisfaction. Now you gotta, we are in this, the entire arena, a new arena right now. We gotta decide, am I going to be the ones on the stand cheering for my team, OnPassive team, or am I going to be the person who actually rolling sleeves and playing that sport? That is a position we all really have to ask ourselves every single day. Who are we? Are we on the stand cheering? Are we the athlete that are playing? And the main goal for the person on the stands and for the athlete is to win that particular game, right? So for all of us, the question is it worth it for us to buy the tickets to see this game, is for us to literally be in this stadium to see this? And to me, I haven't been in a lot of those, game, but I always see the outcome of that is so satisfying for the people that have been to those games. And I'm so glad that you brought that up. Is it worth it?
Absolutely, right. We just had the Wimbledon tennis match that happened over the weekend, right? With Djokovic against Alvarez. Okay, now here's a young guy. I think he's 20, 21, something like that. And he's going up against, one of the greatest, right? And yet he was able to persevere, and he lost the first set, Julie, 6-1, right? For most people, they would have just shrunk and just says, okay, it's going to be one of those days. Let me just take my lumps, But he knew, Julie, he knew the worth. He knew to win this championship, to beat this giant in front of me, right? The feeling that he's going to have at the end of it. Yes, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take for him to dig deep. It's going to hurt, Julie, right? But he did all of that and managed to win in 5 sets, right? And you can see the joy that he was experiencing at the end. You understand? And that's what we're talking about, is be able to have that joy. And in the end, where OnPassive is concerned, to have that joy, Julie, the feeling that we're going to have, right? Is it worth it going through the wait? Is it worth it doing what we have to do until we get there? Is it worth it, to put out correct information? Is it worth it to be honest? Is it worth it to be ethical? These are things that the company is looking at as well, right? Is it worth it for them, right? So it's not just from our point of view, but it's also from the company's perspective as well, right? Is it worth it for them to go through and do all that they're doing in order to help us be winners, right? And the answer from our CEO and the answer from our team is that, yes, absolutely, it's worth it. Yes, it's a lot of work. Yes, it costs a lot of money. Yes, there are ups and downs, right? All of that. But in the end, it is worth it because they know the smiles that they're going to see on people's faces around the globe, right? Saying, yes, as a result of OnPassive, I was able to do this. I was able to achieve this and so on. I was able to get success for the very first time in my life. There are people who have never experienced any type of success, Julie. Not just business-wise, not just financially, just no success at all. Like ever, right? I mean, I find that hard to imagine, but it's true, right? It is true. And so here they finally have an opportunity that success is theirs. It's already written, right? It's not, made, it's already written, right? As our CEO says, it's a done deal, right? So we know what is to come. We know the joy that people are going to experience. So why not just have fun along the way? Because the gets in part is taken care of already, right? So absolutely it's worth it, Julie. I really love this topic today, by the way, right? So kudos on your part for coming up with that. Because, people need to understand and people need to reflect, right? As to why it's worth it, right? Why? Right? Because that is so important. When we get that, Julie, the joy is already bubbling over, right? The joy is already flowing, right? When you really get that yes, it is worth it. And the company's going to do everything possible, no stone left unturned, right? To ensure that success is ours. What more can we ask, Julie? So absolutely, it's worth it.
Yes, it's worth it to the point when our CEO said, I will die every day to make this happen. It means so much when someone say that, like himself, say that. It's so funny. Yesterday, I was at the beach and my friend who knows that I hang out at the beach a lot of time, he goes, Julie, there's an event, there's a concert, a live concert at this place. There's 2 bands are playing, they're showing the art exhibit. It's a fantastic summer event. Given the fact that it's about 20 minutes from where I was. So then I have to ask myself a question, regardless or not that I like the crowd or not, particularly, no, I don't like, too many people. But I also ask myself, it's fun. I'm having a free evening. I can go wherever I want. But then I ask myself, is it worth it to drive through traffic, even though it's 20 minutes? And is it worth it to get there, find the parkings, go in there and watch? Was that fun worth the time that I'm going to spending through these? So I think those are the questions that we do ask ourselves every day. Is it worth it to do something? Does that values of what we are about to have worth the time, the money, the time spent, the effort? Now, everyone here have heard that OnPassive is literally giving away, I think total amount is about 20,000 to a contest, right? The contest that's currently going on. The question is, even if you don't know anything about OnPassive, you don't understand about the product, you've literally just heard about this content. Is it worth it for you to register to enter into this contest and following those 4 simple steps? Really, it doesn't need to take brain genius to follow the 4 steps to get a chance to win. The first prize is $10,000, $5,000, $4,000, $3,000, $2,000, $1,000. Is it worth it to do that? And to me, 1,000%, 1,000,000,000,000%. It's absolutely worth it to do that. And is it worth it to actually call someone and say, hey, listen, there's a chance to win $10,000 for follow steps, for 4 steps. Do you want to enter it? Is it worth it to do that? Because at the end of the day, the smile, the satisfaction, or unstuck someone from something, that you cannot measure the satisfaction, you cannot measure the fulfillment inside of your heart when you see someone like that, Michael.
I'm just thinking, Julie, right? Most people right now Most people, okay? And I'm going to say at least 80% of people out there right now do not have $10,000 sitting in their bank account right now. Maybe they have it on a credit card or a line of credit or something. They don't have $10,000 sitting in their bank account right now. Okay? They don't have access to $10,000 right now. I would say at least 80% of people. You understand? So is it worth it to enter the contest? Absolutely. If you have a chance to win $10,000 for doing what? You're not spending any money, right? You go watch a video, like a video, subscribe, like, what are you doing, right? Again, there's that cost, right? What are you doing in order to have an opportunity to gain that benefit, right? It literally takes you, I don't know, less than 2 minutes, for somebody who may be internet challenged, let's say, right? Technological challenge, however you want to put it, you know what I mean? For someone like yourself, Julie, probably took you like 5 seconds to get it done. You know what I mean? Right? So it's not something that is difficult for people to do. Why not? Would it be nice to have that $10,000 in your account? All because you entered a contest that you didn't pay any money for, right? We know that there are, billions of dollars that are spent, right, each year on the lottery. Billions of dollars with a B, billions, right? People are spending. And how many winners are there? But all this money was spent. Here, yes, it's not millions of dollars that you're going to win, okay? But $10,000 can do a lot for families, Julie. For some family, they actually make less than 10,000 US dollars a year, 365 days. And here you have an opportunity to walk away with $10,000. Are you kidding me? Of course it's worth it. It's worth it to enter. It's worth it to encourage someone else to enter. It is worth it. And these are the types of things that OnPassive is doing to help people, Julie. This is a major benefit, right? Our 3 previous winners, you think they're not happy, right? You're thinking that they didn't think it was worth it, especially after being the winner, right? Of course they thought it was worth it. But what did they have to actually have done in order to generate or to gain that prize, right? And it's the same thing happening right now with this contest, and more will happen as we go forward, Julie, right? This is just brilliant, right? But again, another way the company is helping people, giving them a fighting chance, What could you do with 10,000 or even 5,000 or 4,000 or even 1,000, Julie, right? It's free money, right? It's free money, right? What would you do with that, right? So absolutely, it is so worth it. OnPassive is a game changer. OnPassive is doing things that most companies never even thought of doing, much less actually doing it, right? And that's what people can expect from OnPassive, right? Is something that is totally revolutionary, something that is totally different than what they've seen or experienced before, right? OnPassive is changing lives. Not that it will, Julie, because it's already changing lives, right? And we know even that much more is going to happen as we move forward.
Absolutely, Michael. We go through life, and I bet you 1,000%, I always said 1,000%, that we all have something that we cherish in our heart, some passion that we have. And a lot of time we have to make a decision. Do I follow my heart, or do I allow all the obstacles in life to give up what I'm passionate about? During July 4th, Independence Day, there was a movie that came out, and I'm not going to mention name or anything like that. As I watched that movie and learning and study behind the scenes and study the journey of this, it took them 8 years from 5 or 8 years to make this happen. And the effect of it is the whole entire world know about this particular cause that these people behind this movie is doing. It cost them 15 millions. Right now, probably over what, 40 something millions already. Now, because they're hitting so many obstacles, so many no's, so many rejections, they have to make a decision. Do I move forward with what I want to do, or do I stop right here? And if I stop right here, will it make the difference in the cause that I want to do? So the point I'm trying to say here is the cause of what we want to do in life needs to be much greater than, the money, much greater than the obstacles. It has to be, it has to come from your heart. Is what I want to do worth it? Is it something that's worth it of what I want to spend time, money, and sweat and tears and blood to make this happen? And it's the same thing with our company OnPassive. Our CEO, our tech team, every day making that decision. Is it worth it for me to go to work today? Am I going to be able to make a difference, to bring a smile to someone, to make Julie cry? That's a joke. But that is a decision that they all have to make. And like we mentioned, do it or die. That's the attitude of our team, our CEO. I will die every day to make that happen. And they are all in it for us, for the world, for everyone. I know, Michael, I am in it 100%. I am all in. Are you all in? And is it worth it to be all in?
Yeah, absolutely. When we think of relationships, Julie, no relationship is perfect, right? There's going to be ups and downs in relationships. There's going to be disagreements, arguments, whatever, right? That's just how life is, right? And so when you go through that relationship and you come across a problem or an issue, right? Do you just walk away? Oh, I just can't be bothered. And do you walk away? Or is it worth having that relationship, right? If you're my friend, right, and I care about you and I care about our relationship, and maybe you said something that was hurtful to me or whatever, is our relationship worth me coming to you and trying to make amends, trying to come back together again to make it work, right? Like, is it worth me going through that? Or do I just say, can't be bothered, I'm off on my own, I'm gone, right? So whether it's a marriage, whether it's just a friendship relationship, whether it's a co-worker, business relationships, right? Any type of relationship, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, and sometimes people do walk away from each other because they didn't think it was worth it, right? They didn't think it was worth it, Julie, but one thing I certainly have learned in life is that, you just don't give up easy on things, and don't always expect things to be easy, right? Because when it's easy, usually you don't appreciate it, right? When you work hard for something, when you put, blood, sweat, tears, all these things into it, Julie, and you just love the outcome, right? You just love, the end result, right? And for me, that is OnPassive, right? When you think of the thousands of people, that we've helped along the way, that we've encouraged along the way, that we've given our time along the way, and yes, sometimes it's difficult, right? Sometimes, people say things that's not necessarily nice, but you know what though? It's the end result, right? It's the end result. We're always thinking about the end. We're always thinking about the majority of people, not the one or two. It's always about the majority, because there's so many people, Julie, that appreciate just one word of encouragement. They just appreciate, because you never know, what type of day that person may be having, Julie. And that's what I found with OnPassive, is that anytime we get engaged in a conversation about OnPassive, it always brings a smile. It always brings joy. It always brings peace. It always brings possibility. You understand, Julie? Like, that's one of the things I love about OnPassive. It's a place of comfort. People can actually come and actually feel comfortable, right? People can actually come and actually walk away, man, oh, I'm so glad I attended that webinar. I'm so glad I attended that live. I'm so glad, I was part of that conversation, where OnPassive is concerned, right? It changes people's lives. It makes people roll back and think, wow, I have to be grateful just for life itself, right? When we learn about others living in other places around the world, because, we're in over 200 countries, right? So now, you may never have engaged with anyone from Papua New Guinea before, but now you have, right? Maybe you didn't know anyone in Vietnam. Now you have, right? Now you do, right? Maybe you didn't know anyone in Canada, right? And now you do. You know what I mean? And so you get to understand other people, their cultures. You get to understand their way of life, all these things, Julie. And you get to appreciate life itself, because sometimes you think you have it rough until you come up against someone else and like, wow, really? That's your life story? You understand? So, OnPassive is that place. It's doing so much for people, far greater than the money aspect, right? Because to be able to go through life with a clean conscience, to go through life knowing that you're involved in something that is ethical, something where you're trying to make a difference in other people's lives, money can't buy that, Julie. It can't, because you feel so good about what it is that you're actually doing. When you know that you're not, ripping off people, or you're not trying to blindside people, or, you know what I mean? You're coming from a place of love, right? People appreciate that. And you love the appreciation, Julie, right? These are things that's outside of the scope of OnPassive, but yet it's within it, because it's because of OnPassive that people are experiencing this type of stuff, right? There's a lot of, I would say, intangibles, right, where OnPassive is concerned. A lot of it, right? And sometimes we don't even see or even know the impact that we're having on other people, because there's too many of them, Julie, right? Like, we're not in communication with, a million, and we're just not, right? You may talk to a few, 100, few thousand, right? But at the end of the day, I certainly know that I go to bed, sleeping and thinking about OnPassive, right? Thinking about, okay, if I did something today where OnPassive is concerned, what was the impact? Did I touch anyone? Did I make anyone stop to think, and maybe come from a different point of view, and to look at OnPassive in a different way, knowing that, yes, all of your dreams, your hopes, your aspiration, all these things, they are alive because of OnPassive, right? People have hope because of OnPassive. It's worth it, Julie. It is so worth it.
And it's really funny, you brought up relationships. We have been talking about, is it worth it in terms of the values itself? But when you brought up about the relationship, when someone hurt you, or when you hurt someone, is it worth it to hold that dark feeling, or that icky feeling inside of your heart? Is it worth it? Or is it really killing you every single day because someone hurt you and you just, oh, I don't like this person, blah, blah, blah. You put all the negative, the dark things around that topic or individual. Is it really worth it to do that? We're now stepping into something that we can make a great difference, a beautiful difference in someone. We make a lot of changes in someone else's life. Is it worth it to continue to hold that heavy feeling in our heart? So we're talking about values of what we can offer. We're talking about things, materials, the products, and all of that stuff. We're talking about that feeling inside of us. Is it worth it to hold that heavy feeling? I would say absolutely no, because it's eating you every day. It makes you look older. It gives you, it's literally disable you to move forward. So now you got to give yourself the opportunity of accepting greatness, accepting what giving to us, because it's absolutely worth it. Truly.
Yeah. And think of the relationships that you forged because of OnPassive.
Yeah.
The people that you now know as a result of OnPassive, people that you didn't know before, right? Relationships you didn't have before, right?
Yeah.
You know, again, there's so much good has come about as a result of this company, as a result of the mission, the vision, you know, a lot of good, Julie, right? I know for most people, they just look at it as dollars and cents. And yeah, okay, yeah, I'll see the worth and value when money's in my pocket. You know, but if that's how you're living your life, where that's it, that's what's you know, bring meaning.
Yeah.
Like, no, it has to be more than that, because money will come and go. It will, right? But the friendship, you know, friendship. You know, there are people that I've known for, geez, 40 years, Julie, right? And you know, those friendships, again, it's worth it, Julie. You know what I mean? To have someone that you can call your brother or call your friend, or you know, for such a long period of time, you know, priceless, right? Priceless. You know, and so you have that, right? And then here comes along OnPassive, and some of the folks I've known for 5 years, right, or less, and they've become really close friends, right? And these are people that like, wow, you know, OnPassive or no OnPassive, I can see us being friends for the rest of our lives, right? I mean, those are great friendships, Julie. So is it worth it? Absolutely, absolutely it is. Because there's so much more than dollars and cents in OnPassive, so much more. Relationships to me are priceless, Julie, because we can get together and we can go make money. That's not a problem. Right? That's not an issue, right? But it's the people then, though, right? The people then, that's what you treasure, right? You treasure the people. And it's more than worth it. It is more than worth it, Julie.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for being here and literally, you know, join in our conversation by making comments on what we're talking about here. We do hope that you found this worth it for your time spending here with us, almost an hour now. Truly, everything that I believe that we share has some values. And if there's no values in what we shared, I don't think you and I would want to spend an hour to share anyway, right, Michael? And along with a lot of people that is sharing OnPassive, so it's absolutely worth it. And Michael and I are all in it. Are you all in it? Last words, Michael?
Well, you know, we could be here for hours upon hours, Julie, with any topic that has any relations to OnPassive. That's a given, you know, but I just hope that those that are listening or those that will watch later on just get it. OnPassive is so worth it. It is so worth it. There's so much here that if you just immerse yourself into it, you'll just start to think differently. You'll feel better about yourself. You'll feel better about the people around you. You know, you'll start to make even better decisions because your mind will be clear, it'll be free, right? There's just something about OnPassive, just something that is so different, something about bringing people together, right? In love and harmony, all that good stuff. It's all here in OnPassive. So if you're looking for that, right, you can find a place with us. There's no doubt about it. And if you're already with us, stay the course because we're going to much, much higher tops.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. As a reminder, check out our new version of OnPassive.com. Make sure you visit OnPassive YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you get your own OES ID or an OMail ID subscribe, like, make a comment, share it on your social media, enter yourself a chance to win the prizes that we mentioned. And also, if you are in California or anywhere nearby, we're putting, literally some workshops together, just kind of preparing, just being available for everyone who needed some, some handheld or just getting together, literally sharing the values that we have. So that's happening in California. If you have any questions regarding that part of workshops, please reach out to anyone. Anyone, they would be able to find myself, Sherry Durstaway, Terry Thompson, Leon Holidays. I mean, there's a long list of people that you could absolutely get in touch with. I know Steve DePauli and Tessa up north. I mean, everyone know how to get a hold of us. We'll get together, we'll start some workshops and simply just get together and share the values. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. If you haven't followed me on Facebook, YouTube, please click the follow or subscribe button, like and share. Our ultimate goal here is to bring the values of what we have in our hand, and we put so much value on what we have in our hand, and we're here to share with you. So thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here, and we'll chat with you next time. God bless. Have a great day. Enjoy your evening. Take care. Thank you so much, Michael, for having this conversation with me.
Most welcome. My pleasure as always.